What happened to that boy? What up, guys? Going to Barbell Brigade. I just finished listening to this podcast by Ramit Sethi and Bo Eason. I was really thinking, so if you guys don't know, I talked a little bit about a blog a few days ago. But basically what the story is that he was a NFL safety. Did 20 years of it, including like high school, and how his journey into becoming like a playwright. I'm not really into like that art, like playwrights and whatnot. Very interesting to hear his journey. He was talking about in college how we don't remember what we learned. Like, I'll be honest with you, a lot of the stuff I learned in pharmacy school I probably don't remember anymore. A lot of the biochemistry and all that sort of stuff I learned back then, I probably don't know. I was thinking a lot about pharmacy practice, or even like anything in life. We always remember the experiences we go through. So like, I might not remember like exactly how an SN2 reaction in chemistry works, right? But what I do remember is the journey of me struggling through that and trying to find a mnemonic and try to learn something that was so hard for me. And same thing goes with pharmacy. I think one of the really important things about pharmacy is actually rotations. Instead of looking at it as I have to learn everything, try to focus on creating memories for yourself, man. Tell me you can't remember your first girlfriend or the experience of first heartbreak. You know, all those situations, you just don't forget them. And I think that's why older people, they're so wise. They've been through so much. Like when I listen to my grandma's stories about running from the Japanese, moving to America, it's very inspiring to me, you know? And that's one of the reasons why I started Refugee Hustle, is because the people before us are so wise, and these are lessons that don't change. Like the concepts of having like a strong mind and going through growing pains and going through heartache and all that stuff is very that's timeless, man. Even the fucking Romans were talking about that shit, you know? And if I knew that sooner, I think I would have learned a lot more over the years, you know? Because you can read a textbook as much as you want, but if it's not emotionally stimulating, it's not going to help you in the future. So that's why I'm saying to you guys, capture as many memories as you can during rotations. During your rotations, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, right? Not everything's gonna be perfect, but I think that's the part of a good story sometimes, you know? Like, no one is like, hey, once upon a time, Kevin woke up, he was a fucking boss, the end. That's a fucking boring ass story. It's always like same story, like you're trying to do something gets in the way, you might try something, you still fail, and then you have this resiliency of grinding, and then you finally get it, and that makes a really good story that everybody relates to, right? I think about all the times where I fucked up. There's a period in my life where I felt very dark. It's almost like those teenage years basically came back in my life. I was going through this period where I was making so many mistakes as a pharmacist, and that was a really dark time for me. But what I remember was, like, at the time I used to use Facebook a lot, and I put all that vulnerability out there. I told people what I was going through, I related, and I just remember all the people that were there for me. And now as a pharmacist, I'm not 100% error-free, but with experience you get better and better. I always remember that. I remember like my old preceptor, my preceptor, like at the time when I was an intern, her coming out to me and sharing me her story about her warfarin story. I took a little bit of time of thinking about all the successes I've had as a pharmacist, like whether it was just being there for a patient that was dying. And I just, at the end of the day, all you have and all that you'll remember are your memories, man. So and this doesn't just go just for pharmacy, it goes for life, man. Imagine this, you're so young right now. One day there'll be a time where you're gonna be so old, mobility is not gonna be your friend. Maybe that'll change with technology, but right now, in 2016, mobility is not your friend, and it's gonna be a lot harder. My own grandma couldn't, she always wanted to go to my graduation, but she couldn't because she was so old and she could get too tired. Things happen like that. And so when you're sitting in your chair, when you're like 80, 90, 100, maybe even 100 years old down the line, and you're sitting there, all you'll have is your memories, and hopefully you won't be that person that will regret, right? But anyways, that was a little hippie ass talk, motherfuckers. I just want to shoot something really quick for you on the fly, and yeah, because this thought just popped up in my mind. So I'll see you guys in a bit, and I will talk to you later. Peace, guys.
Once you finish, you can pay off your loans in like 2-3 years, no problem. You can save a bunch of money, buy my nice clothes, nice shoes, nice purses. Well, when you get out and you actually do get a job, I mean, yes, you're very excited, but